All right, so let's run over here and open up a, and I can use different colors because that's going to make this easier to draw on. All right, so let's look at water here. So water, you're going to have your hydrogen and you've got your oxygen. So your oxygen is going to come in. It's going to have 6 electrons. It's in the 6th column. Then you're going to have your hydrogens come in. They've got 1 electron each. So they're going to come in right here. And that's going to be your hydrogens. Your hydrogens will be fine because they both got 2 electrons. And then your oxygens are going to have a complete octet here. The next one is NH3. So you're going to have 5 electrons around nitrogen. It's in the 5th column, if you don't count the D block. Then I'm going to start putting my hydrogens around here. Again, our hydrogens have 1 electron. So if I put my hydrogens around, there's my hydrogens. Now nitrogen has 8 and each hydrogen has 2. CCl4, C has 4 electrons. Chlorines then have 7. So there's my 1 chlorine. I'm going to do my next chlorine here. And my next one. And my last one. Okay. Any questions on those 4 before we get into something a little bit trickier? All right. So the next one is CH4O. And again, we've got to kind of figure out how these puzzle pieces are going to fit. We know carbon's going to be in the center. How do we know that carbon's going to be in the center? What is our clue here? It's listed first in the sequence, okay? So I'm going to start with my carbon here. I know that it has 4 electrons. Now, if I put all 4 of the hydrogens around here, what would the problem be? If I went and just did this, don't do this because this is going to be wrong. But if I went and did this, what would my problem be? There's no place for the O to go, okay? Carbon's already filled with H. Hydrogens can't take anything else on, so that doesn't work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these H's away, and there I'm going to attach an oxygen. Now, oxygen has 6 electrons. That then leaves an open space here for that extra hydrogen to glob on right there. You see how these are kind of like jigsaw puzzles and you kind of got to work through them? Are you done with all of the practice ones? Didn't do 8-3. That's your homework tonight, okay? I don't want to hold you back. So, all right. Any questions on that guy? All right. The next one then is, oh, don't start acting up on me. Come on. C2H6. There we go. Okay. So my carbons, again, have 4. I know that they're going to go in the center. So I've got 2 carbons. I'm going to connect those to each other. And then I have my hydrogens that I need to put on here. So I'm going to put those next. And I've got 6 of those. So they're going to fit nicely right around here. And once I get them positioned, then each hydrogen will have 2. Each carbon will have 8. And we are done. And then the last one is OF2. So my oxygen is going to go in the center. Remember, your halogens have to be on the ends. Then I'm going to put my fluorines. One of them will fit right here. And the other one's going to fit on the other side. Once I get that guy in place, then everything has a full octet. And I've placed all of my electrons. All right, I think I did oxygen for you guys yesterday. I might have. I guess I don't remember for sure. Okay, so oxygen, when we do that, it has 6. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for this guy. I'm going to have my other oxygen come in right here. Now, I've got all of my electrons placed that I can place, and I don't have a full octet around each oxygen. So what I have to do is I have to bring this electron into the center. He's going to go away. And I have to bring this electron into the center. And he goes away. So at this point, this is called a double bond. And remember, we can represent those with just lines. And that's what a double bond looks like. Each double bond is 2 electrons. So 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. So that is our oxygen. Our nitrogen then, each one of those has 5 electrons. Okay, I've got all 5 electrons placed, but I don't have a full octet. This guy just has 2, 4, 6 electrons, and so does this guy. So what I can do is I can bring these 2 electrons into the center. Oops, I guess I put that on the wrong side. Sorry. Use the wrong ink color. And then he has to go away down here because we moved him into the center. And now we're going to move these into the center. And we could draw this like this instead. So it's a little cleaner. And this is called a triple bond. All right, questions on those? All right, take a minute to see if you can do the next 3, and then I will put the answers up to those in just a minute or 2. Okay? Carbon gets 4 electrons, oxygen gets 6. See how you can manipulate those. Yep. But the answer keys the whole packet are online on the Google Classroom. We got to Classroom. Yep, you got double bonded. Yep. Yeah, I would not do this in pen. I don't do it in pen. I do not do. Yeah, you guys need to get pencils in here because it's not going to be pretty. I'm telling you, especially when we get into balancing equations. Like you're going to be erasing a lot, and it's going to get really sloppy really fast. It's a double bond on both sides. Yep, and then but oxygen's going to have 2 on top and 2 on bottom.
this one? Would it be like 2 on this side?
That one I'd have to draw. Carbon monoxide, you're going to have 4. And the oxygen, you have 6. Okay, and then I'm going to have to bring this guy in, I'm guessing. So that's there and there. And this guy is still up here, but he doesn't have a full out touch, does he? We're going to have to bring these. No, that still won't work. That one worked. Oh, there we go. The oxygen's going to have to contribute both of them. There we go. That's how it works. Yeah, it's going to be a triple bond. So C, triple bond, oxygen's here, and they'll both have lone. These are called lone pairs of electrons up here. Yeah. Sometimes it's just like you have to, I mean, you saw me standing there like moving things around. Sometimes you've just got to, that's why I say don't do this, because it's not, you're going to end up erasing a lot. Me? So you have 4 and 6. You've got 10 electrons, right? So if you've got 10 electrons, you need to have a full octet around both of these. Okay? And the only way that you can manipulate those to get a full octet is to move 6 of them in the center and then have 2 lone pairs on top. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get that to kind of move around and be able to. Because you've only got 10 to play with. You can't add any more in. So you've got to move them around, keep shifting them around until you get everything positioned where it needs to be. So that is carbon monoxide. It killed you. Okay, so how many electrons do we have? 4, 5, 6, so 12. 2, 4, 6, 8. And then you've got to have 10 and 12. So make sure that you're counting your electrons to see that they're positioned appropriately. Make sense? All right, so let's look at the last couple on here. We had carbon dioxide. So with carbon dioxide, how much time do I have left? 52. No, that's not today. Today we get out at 12:26. Okay, so I got about 8 minutes, which I easily get done in that amount of time. All right, so carbon has 4 and oxygen has 6, but I got 2 of them. So 4 plus 12 is 18 electrons. I'm doing CO2 right now. My carbon is going to go in the center. I'm going to have my carbon there, and then I'm going to put my oxygens onto that. All right. So at this point, my carbon has 6 electrons around it, and each of my oxygens have 7. That will not work. So I've got to move some stuff around. I'm going to move this electron and this electron into the center here. And I'm going to represent all of that with a solid line. Okay, so now I've got 2, 4, 6, 8. This carbon has 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. But if I take this electron and I move them into the center here, then that'll take care of that problem as well. So those are gone. Now my oxygen has 2, 4, 6, 8. My carbon has 2, 4, 6, 8. And my oxygen over here has 2, 4, 6, 8. I should have a total of 18 electrons. So let's double count those. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Oh, I can't add apparently. It shouldn't have 18. It should have 16. Because 4 plus 12 is 16, not 18. All right. Sorry, y'all. Losing my mind. Can't count apparently. Okay, the next one was the carbon monoxide. So CO, this has 4, this has 6. I can count that up, and that gets me to 10. So my carbon, I'm going to have 4 on that carbon. I'm going to have my oxygen over here is going to have 6. So I've got that. Now, the issue here is I can move, so I'm going to represent these two with a line. I'm going to move this guy and this guy in and represent him with a line. Now I've got to figure out how I can change this so that everything can have 8. Well, these two I'm going to pair up together up top here because they need to be in pairs. These have to be in pairs when we're finished. We can't have just little ones sitting off by themselves. They get lonely. And then I've got to drag these two right here. And yeah, oxygen's going to have to carry it all. They're going to have to bring those into the center here as well. And now with this arrangement, I have 2, 4, 6, 8. This has 2, 4, 6, 8. And I have a total of 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that's the only way to manipulate that one to get it to work. All right, last one is my carbon. So carbon has 4. My hydrogens have 2. So I'm going to put my hydrogen here, and I'm going to put a hydrogen here. And then I'm going to draw in an oxygen over here. Hopefully that's a color distinction enough to be able to see between the oxygen and the carbon. All right. Now, I don't have enough for this oxygen, and I don't have enough for this carbon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag those into the center here, and that's going to create our double bond. And by doing that, now everything has 8, or in the case of hydrogen, it has 2. All right. Like I said, some of these you just have to kind of play around with and get comfortable doing. All right. So tonight, your homework is 8-3. And 8-3, you've got 11 problems. So you have 11 problems for tonight. Again, most, if not all of these are Googleable. And a couple of them are repeats for stuff that we've already done. So.